Hi and welcome back to my channel. I am Caspian and I read books. So this is the beginning of the year book tag for this year. I have credited the creator in my description box. I don't know if I can tag them, so I have at least credited them. Because my account is new, so I'm not sure if I can tag people yet. I think I can't. But yeah. So I would probably not show you as many books going into this because I haven't prepared pictures of any books. Yeah, I just wanted to do this tag and I didn't really have that much time to prepare. But I have prepared the questions and they seem to work. So let's get into it. So yeah, I'm gonna share. This is gonna take some time, so you have to be patient with me, all right? The first question is, how many books do you plan to read in 2025? And the answer to that is my goal for 2025 is 75 books. That's my Goodreads goal. That's what I have put in my reading journal for this year. Because last year I had 50. No, I actually only put like 25, but that's because I started my in-depth reading journey in like May somewhere, April, May, and I wasn't sure how many books I was gonna read. So I ended up surpassing that with a lot because I read 82 books last year. So I was like, what is not putting pressure on me, but still a fun goal to maybe achieve. And I put 75. And if I don't achieve it, that's fine with me. Because you never know what the year is going to look like, you know? So I'm not stressing about it, but it's fun to just see. Like, I think it was Cassandra Lynn. I watched her video. And she said it's fun to see like the confetti on Goodreads, and if you don't, that's fine as well. So the next question, the second question, is a book you're likely to reread this year. And in my notes, I had put the Seven Sisters series. But I've actually brought out two different books for this question. So the first one is Lucinda Riley and her Seven Sisters series. So this is the Swedish copy of the first book. It's thick. It's a bit yeah, it's not fair. It hasn't fared very well this year. But I read all of these like last winter, maybe starting the fall of 2023 and then into 2024. I read these and I bought them. So I bought this and read it and loved it, and then I just continued to buy them. And they had like a discount where I bought them, so I bought several at a time. So these are 7 books in the series, and then there's an 8th book called Pasalt, I think, the Book of Atlas, the dad in this series. So I probably will reread this. It must have gotten damp or something. So yeah, because my rereading season is in the summer. So in the summer I go for comfort reads, familiar stories, and just things that makes me want to, you know, just have a nice relaxed time. And so yeah, I last year I reread all of the books I had up until then from Jenny Colgan. So I think for this year, I do want to reread Gina Mowell's books, The Clan of the Cave Bear as well. I have those as well. So I want to reread that one. But most likely to reread this year is this one and this one. So this is a heavy book, but this is 5 books in one, because this is all of the books in the Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy series. So in Swedish, Liftarens Guide till Galaxen. So these are the ones I probably will reread. So 7 of these, or 8 with the Atlas book, and then this one, which is 5 books in one. So those I will probably, you see which one is the oldest. So I bought this one new, and I have just butchered it apparently. And this one I bought this year at a secondhand store, a thrift store, because I thought I had it, and then I had like a black copy of this. And then when I tried to search for it, I was like, no. So it can still be in my boxes in the storage. We live in an apartment complex and we have storage in the cellar. So it might be there, but this was just like 20 crowns, which is about €2. So, yeah, those are the ones. That's the second question. So let's see what the next question is. Number 3, right? A priority. Okay, I'm sorry for the misspelling. Because on is not a word in my Swedish dictionary, so it just auto-corrected to which it means about. But a priority on your 2025 TBR. So that's a hard one, because I don't really have like a 2025 TBR in that sense. I have my physical TBR that are books I would like to read, and then I have want to read list, because I am a library rat, so I don't buy that many books, so I don't have a great physical TBR, and my want to read list is kind of fluid, you know. But what would I say? A priority on my 2025 TBR. So I think if I think about the books I have in my own on my own shelves, I would say that would be probably the next book in the Sun Trial. So Celestial Monsters by Aidan Thomas. Is that the name? I hope that's the name. Because that was my best book of 2025, was the first one, the Sunbearer Trials. That's the word, the Sunbearer Trials. So I think it would be the second one in that. But also I have 4 more books to read within the Bridgerton series. So 4 out of 8 I have left. So there are a lot of books I would like to read, but I try not to put pressure on myself on like a priority, because if I don't read them, I will have them for later. So, but I do know that in March I will probably not, I won't be able to go to my library a lot. So in March I will have to read a lot from my own physical TBR. So I will probably read a lot of those in that month. So the fourth question on this list, because there are 18 questions. An author you won't be reading more of this year. And I didn't really have like a lot to say in this, but the one, I think you know, my one and only that I'm sure I won't be reading much of this year, that is Sarah J. Maas. Because I did read her ACOTAR, the first book, in May, and I gave it like a 2.5 stars, and I didn't really like it, especially not. I liked the story. I didn't like the writing style, and I didn't like the second half of the book. So I didn't want to continue the series. I DNF'd the series, and then I borrowed from the library. I borrowed the Crescent City, first book in the Crescent City series, and I had 2 weeks to read 800 pages, and I was like, no, this isn't worth it. So I've DNF'd her. because even though I always want to give authors a second chance, the books are just simply too long for me to be into it, you know. So no more Sarah J. Maas. So let's see. Number 5, something new you want to read. So genre or trope. And the thing is, I know what genres are, all right? Tropes, I am not really that clear on yet. I know what a trope is, but I don't really know what kind of trope I like or dislike. I know I dislike the trope of the single mother, the struggling single mother. And I've been through this before, so I'm not gonna rehash why. Other than that, I'm not sure what I want to read new because I really tried so many new things in 2024 that this year I almost just want to mood read and go with the flow and see what comes my way and continue this series I've started, etc. So I don't really think there is something new to me that I want to read this year that really is a priority for me. So, and I think that's fine. So I am looking forward to discovering what kind of tropes I do like and what kind of tropes I don't like, so that it can help me choose books in the future to read. That's kind of all I have to say about that. So yeah, number 6 is a popular book I really want to read in 2025. And I do have an answer for this one. I really want to read the Emily Wilde books. So the books about Emily Wilde. I don't remember the author. So, and every time I'm at my library, like the past month or so, I've seen one of them on like the librarian recommends shelves, I think it is. And it's just that I have so many other things to read, but I do want to read the Emily Wilde books this year. I don't see myself buying them unless I really enjoy them, but they are on my want to read list for this year. Definitely. So that was a popular book. And the next question is most anticipated 2025 book release. And I am not that updated on releases, mainly because I am a library rat. So even though there are releases I can look forward to, or I may be looking forward to, I know that I won't be able to read them as soon as they come out, right? So, um, and the only so I do have a book for this as an answer to this question, and that's Great Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, because I do enjoy Emily Henry as far as I've read so far, and I think there are 5 books out or something. I've read 2. I have 2 on my shelf in there in Swedish to read when I want to, and then there's one I don't have. And then but I am looking forward to Great Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. So that's my answer for that question. But I know that I won't be able to read it when it comes out because for 2 reasons. It probably won't come to Sweden right away, and it will definitely not come to my library right away. With that said, I know that Funny Story actually came quite quickly, and the same with one of the Abby Jimenez books. They came to the library quite quickly. So it kind of depends if I want to read it in the original language or in Swedish, though. So yeah, but Great Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. So number 8, a bookish goal for 2025. I, as I said, I don't really have many goals. I do have one goal, that I'm yet to. I have dedicated a page to it in my reading journal, but I haven't found a map yet. Because what I want to do for 2025 is to read more around the world. So by authors from all around the world. And this is for two reasons. One is that a plant-based bride is doing that kind of journey, and she inspired me to want to do the same, to kind of expand my reading in that way. And the other reason is I see a lot of booktubers just being. It's so funny because when booktubers say, "Oh, I'm gonna read so much translated fiction this year," what they seem to mean is Japanese. And I'm like, there's so much translated fiction out there than just Japanese. I know that there are some Swedish books as well that people enjoy, like Bear Town and Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. But mainly people mean Japanese. So, and it kind of bugs me that do not get that much inspiration from other parts of the world via BookTube. So I would like to do that. That's a bookish goal for me. Last year I did read for the first time. I read a manga. I think I read a Korean book, and I read a Japanese book, and I read a South American book. But I'm pretty good at reading books from South America because I am a shamanic practitioner, and there are a lot of books from there. So where there are like indigenous cultures, I do tend to read books from those places. But I would like it to be more like, yeah, around the world. So I am yet to find a map I would like to have in my reading journal to mark the places or the countries that I read from. That's going to be a fun little thing for myself. So the next question, number 9. A book, what does it say? A book on your TBR that you probably won't ever read. And this is so funny to me because I'm like, why would you have a book on your TBR if you're not gonna read it? I know I saw some other booktubers being like they have started maybe a series a long time ago, and they have the other books, they just never got to them, and they know that they have to reread the first one and then read the rest, and they want to do that, but it's not likely because it's kind of a project. But I don't think I have a book on my TBR that I'm not going to read, mainly because I don't buy that many books. When I buy books, I buy them from the secondhand store, and I at least try them because I buy them because they inspire me in some way to grab them and take them home. And I also buy books that I have already read and loved. I want to reread. So I don't have a book on my TBR that I know I will never read. Seems like a waste of shelf space to me. But not to, it's nothing against anyone that have many books that they won't ever read. But for me, that's not what I don't prioritize to just have books and buy books. So yeah, if you'd ask me what books there are at the library that I will never read, that's another thing. Lots of them. So what's the next one? Number 10. I have the questions on my computer as well beside me, so with some answers as well. 10, a series that you want to read this year. So I think my answer for this is last year I started, what's it called? I need to go check what it's called. Okay, so Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, that series. Because last year I started the first book. I borrowed it from the library, started the first book, and I loved it. I just got like a few chapters in, and I was like, I love the writing style in this. I want to I want to read it slow. I even wanted. I started to read out loud for myself, like a bedtime story kind of thing. So I was like, I'm gonna have to have a lot of time to read this out loud for myself. So I want this, I need this, and I had I was fortunate enough to find them online for like yeah, all three of the books for a bargain. So I bought them and I have yet to read them. I will probably read those in March. So a series I want to read this year is that series because I just barely started it, but I have it I do have them on my TBR, you can say. So yeah, so that's the one. Stephanie Garber's series. Number 11. Autobuy authors going into 2025. So, as we have already established, I'm a library rat, so I don't really have Autobuy authors. If I did, so this is also a financial question because I'm saving. I'm not just saving my money right now. I have them going towards a specific thing. So last year I did buy some books. This year I won't probably be buying any books unless they are. I won't be buying any books. Maybe I'm never gonna say never. I will probably buy some from a secondhand store or something like that. But I don't have any plans. So that means I don't have any auto-buy authors because I'm not allowing myself to have auto-buy authors. If I did though, if we're going on like last year, I really wanted to buy Abby Jimenez books, the Yours True, the Part of Your World, Yours Truly, and I think there's another one coming or something like that. And I had that on my auto buy last year, but I didn't even buy the first one. So at some point I will buy them all, but that's in the future. Last year I did, however, buy Carissa Broadbent twice as soon as the books came out. So Six Scorched Roses and A Songbird and a Heart of Stone. I have yet to read the second one. So if I did have, I would probably have Carissa Broadbent, but I don't know. I think she's coming out with another book this year, but I'm not sure. But I won't be able to buy that. But I would probably like hint to my partner or someone else to be like, when my birthday is, I would like this one, something like that. So the next question, number 12 out of 18, just so we are clear on that, how many questions we have left. So this one is a book to show adaptation you are excited about. And to be frank, I'm not that excited about any book to show adaptation. I'm not up to date with them. Mainly because I just don't tend to follow the chattering about it, like the gossip or whatever, or the talk about that sort of thing. I'm always as surprised as anyone else when I hear about something like, oh, a film coming out about that. Oh, okay, from that book. Oh, okay, nice. And that's also because I tend not to. There's so much difference, in a book and a movie or film or series adaptation. But I think one that I am looking forward to watching that is already out is The Bridgerton. I hope I am able to watch the entire series on Netflix. I, I want to read the rest of the series, but I want to take my time with it. And then I want to watch the series on Netflix. So I hope I have time to do both of those before the Netflix series just vanishes from Netflix, because sometimes they do. So I would like to see that, but it's already out. One series so I'm not up to date. Yesterday, my dad told me that Spielberg bought the rights for the Thursday Murder Club. So this is just gossip, you know, this is just, he told me this because I gifted him the Thursday Murder Club, the first book, for Christmas. And now he's read it and he found out that it's gonna, and he loved it and it's gonna be adapted. Uh, will that come out in 2025? Not likely. Not likely, but I do look forward to that because I really enjoyed all. I have read the four first books in that series so far, and I really enjoyed that. So that's something I would like to actually look into. Hopefully, I won't be disappointed. But I don't think that will come out this year. If he's just bought the rights now, maybe they will start filming this year, and then maybe it will come out next year. Who knows? Depending on where and how fast that process will go, you know. So number 13. A sequel you are anticipating, and for this question I have written down Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man. So because I really enjoyed Vera Wong's what was the first one called? You know, Jesse Q. Sutanto, I think the author is. So that one, that's a sequel I'm looking forward to. I don't know if I think it's going to be a standalone. So I am looking forward to that one, and I do anticipate it coming to my library quite quickly because it's the first one was so popular, and the first one had like a long line waiting list on it at the library, so they will probably be quick at buying this one for the library. So I'm not sure I will be able to read it this year, depending on when it comes out. If it comes in the fall, then I would. It depends on how fast I put myself on that waiting list, you know. So number 14, right? Bookish things you are leaving in 2025. Bookish things I'm leaving in 2025. I would say some of the, because I started annotating last year. So I think I have noticed that because I'm running out of stationery supplies in a time where I don't want to put money in that basket right now. So I'm I'm figuring out what I really need and what I don't need in that sense, in the annotating sense, and what I really want to, you know, focus on. And there are some of those things that I will leave in 2024 and not probably never buy again because I've realized I don't really, that's not my thing. I have, for one thing, realized that I more enjoy underscoring than highlighting, because I feel like highlighting just jumps out at you. So I'm quite I'm not really doing that anymore that much, because underscoring is more just like hinting on, like, here's something you might want to read again, you know, kind of just, it's more discreet, and I enjoy that. But I do enjoy the process of annotating. So I don't know if there are any other bookish things I will leave in 2024 except for maybe buying new books. But that's just kind of, you know, on ice, on hold for when I do have, when I can prioritize that again. So yeah, let me know if there is something I should be leaving behind in 2024. I think maybe one thing is, because I shared a video recently about how not to support questionable authors. And I think I will leave questionable authors in 2024. I will be more, have my eyes open to that, so that I don't really read those and support those. Yeah. Okay, so number 15, we're almost done. what to expect from this account? Well, not much. I think the same things that you have seen so far. So, like videos where I talk about books I've read, like like I prefer not to make a video about only one book unless it's like a wonderful, amazing thing. I might want to do a review of Braiding Sweetgrass sometime in the future. But I more prefer to read like 2 or 3 books and then post about those like once a week or something like that. So that's kind of what you can expect. And then I will be doing another. Okay, so the only thing I want to buy this year when it comes to books, that is, I want to do another calendar, like Sunweight calendar for next year. But that's some time far into the future. Um, so you can expect that from me when that time comes. And other than that, I don't know. I'm just posting what I like and posting what I want to post, and maybe some more book tags and that sort of thing. But mostly books, videos about the books I read. So yeah, that's kind of it. Let me know if there's something you would like to see from me in this year that I haven't done yet. Vlogs are not really my thing. Just so you know, like reading vlogs where you see me reading a book and then stopping to talk about it and then continuing it. Mainly because I'm not that into watching vlogs unless they are like themed or because some booktubers are good at making vlogs that are not spoiling the book. My experience with watching vlogs is that most booktubers, most people, they overshare, and as soon as they are starting to enjoy a book, I tend to stop watching because I don't want it to be spoiled. So I prefer them to talk about it afterwards, and that's kind of what I prefer to share as well. And it's also the editing thing. I'm not great at editing, so that's not something I am kind of able to do yet to share that kind of content. So let's see what the next question is. How has your reading taste evolved from last year? So up until last year, I mainly reread books, I would say. I had like a break from the library for a couple of years, and when I went there, I mainly picked out like feel good books, like light romance books, or like maybe I found a series that someone recommended to me from my friends or my dad, and I didn't really read that many new books, and when I did, it was mainly like the same author. So I think my reading taste has evolved in several ways. One way is that I am more likely to pick up new authors, new to me authors. I've also kind of changed from reading more contemporary to reading fantasy. I've read so much fantasy in the last 6 months, more than I've ever done, I think. So I think it's evolved to encompass that genre more as well. It's not that I don't like contemporary anymore. It's just that I'm exploring other content. And yeah, so my reading taste has evolved a lot, I would say. Mainly, I think I become better at knowing what I like, and by being open to new authors and new genres and new subgenres, I have kind of, dived deeper into and expanded my knowledge and my taste in different ways. So I think that's the best answer. My taste has evolved by expanding. Yeah, that's I think that's the thing. So the next question is, this is the second to last question, I think. I hope I haven't missed anything. So booktubers that inspire you. And I have already mentioned Cassandra Lynn Reed's and A Plant-Based Bride. So I have a list, and I will name them in my description box, even though I might not be able to tag them. So Cassandra Lynn Reed's A Plant-Based Bride. So with Cassandra Lynn Reed's, I would say I actually watched her current content. I found her via Katie's Reading. And so I watched her current content because I found her that way. At the same time, I was watching older videos and I didn't realize it was the same person. It took me a while to realize it was the same person. But yeah, so I think we have similar tastes sometimes. So that's kind of how yeah, and she loves maps, she draws maps, and I love maps. So, and then A Plant-Based Bride shared a lot of annotating content, and that's how I found her. And then I just really enjoyed her bookish content as well, because I found reading her annotating and her bullet journal content, because I wanted to start a bullet journal, and she's still very inspiring in that sense, but I'm also really enjoying her other content, mainly because she often have quite like contradicting view and opinion about books. Like half of booktube can love these books, and then I watch her and she's like, oh, this is crap. And I really enjoy that. It's nice to have like different views, so you're not caught up in the hype and then disappointed, because I have found myself not liking some of the popular books, and when I don't, I can almost always count on The Plant-Based Bride to be in my corner. And then Riley Marie. I really enjoy Riley Marie's content. I do enjoy her vlogs, actually. And I do enjoy, we also have like a similar taste. And for some reason, so she loves sapphic novels. I'm not that into sapphic novels, but for some reason, the ones she really enjoy is right up my alley. And a lot of the books she enjoy is right up my alley. And then also she makes such fun content. I found myself laughing and sometimes crying and just really with a big smile on my face every time I watch her channel. And then I have I think her name is Caroline Marie. She has the book club on Fable that I'm in, where we read a new genre every month. I'm not reading this month because I don't want to read Hamlet, the play. So, and I enjoy her content because it's different from the other booktubers I follow. She's more into classics, she's more into contemporary, she's more into like other genres than my main the main things in my that I follow, and I enjoy the contrast. And I also, her voice is so soothing. You know, if I feel a bit upset about something, I can watch Caroline Marie and I'm like, yes, thank you. And I just calm myself down to the core. And then we have Gavin Reads It All, of course. He's like, he and one other that I'm gonna get to are ones that, I try to watch my content, in a chronological, not my content, but the content I follow in a chronological order. So when I go to my notifications and watch like recently released videos, I scroll down so that I am, updated. But if I log into YouTube and I see one from Gavin, that's what I'm watching first. I'm not bothering about whatever has been happening in the last 2 or 3 days. I'm watching Gavin first. Like 95% of the times I'm watching Gavin first. So his content is so varied, so fun, and he's so creative, and he's the one that I tend to share his videos on my Facebook, my private Facebook. I recommend his channel to a lot of people. He reads a lot of varied books as well. So yeah, that's one of the main booktubers that inspire me. But I also know that I'm never ever I don't aspire to be a full-time booktuber, but he gives me so many ideas for books to read and content I want to create, or things I want to do like in my life. So yeah, and then the next one is another like auto watch, and that is Becca and the Books. When she has her Shelf It or Scrap It series, or just any video, mainly Shelf It or Scrap It, but also other videos. If I see one of her videos when I log into YouTube, I'm like, oh, and then I click watch, and I always enjoy it so much. And those two, Gavin Reads It All and Becca and the Books, are two of the booktubers that I really. It doesn't matter how long the video is. It's actually preferred if the video is long. I'm like, yay! And I almost want to bring out the popcorn and and just. But what I do is I mostly like press on it, pause, go make a cup of tea, and I'm like this for 1 or 2 hours. Other booktubers that I do enjoy, when they have longer videos, I might put them on like my watch later list. But not Gavin and not Becca. Those two are like my I am so up to date with their videos. It's insane. Which reminds me, I do still need to watch Gavin's latest, but I've been busy with other things. So then there are two more on my list, and that's JHT Books, Jack. I really enjoy Jack's content. Please go to watch his channel if you want to enjoy some content. I think I found this channel when this summer I was looking for queer books to enjoy, to put on like a queer TBR kind of, or WBR, want to read, WTR, want to read list. Okay, so I wanted to find queer books, and I searched for like pride content and that sort of thing, and I found Jack. So JHT Books, and I follow him on Instagram as well. When I'm excited, my English tends to just I tend to stumble on my English words sometimes. So please go watch Jack if you love bookish content. He reads a lot of queer books. He reads a lot of contemporary novels, and he and I doesn't really have the same taste. But he did enjoy one book that I recommended for him, because he did one of those like random comment generator thing. He picked two comments with books, and then he read both and then voted on which one we could vote on which book he was gonna enjoy the most. And I recommended Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So he read the first book, and he actually enjoyed. He got the vibe. It wasn't his most loved books of the year, but he got the vibe, and I'm so happy he got the vibe, because that's one of my favorite books of all time. So yeah, and he's really good at what's the word I'm looking for, communing with his followers, and it's like you feel seen and heard, and you feel connected to him when he makes his videos. So yeah, I really enjoy his content. And then the last one is Jesse Reads. I think that's the name of the channel, Jesse Reads. And he does these fun videos where he like your worst books or your best books or these weird books, or like he has these themed vlogs where he reads 3 books and then talks about them. And he's one of those people also that is quite good at not spoiling. He can tell you the main storyline and talk a little bit about the main characters and share his view on the book without spoiling it for anyone else that wants to read it. So a lot of the books that he has talked about and shared, I have put on my want to read list for that reason. And I do enjoy his vlogs. They aren't that long, and I think that's kind of the key. There's not too much depth into the content of the books, and yeah, he nails it. And then the last question of this video. I have been talking for ages, but that's all right. So, number 18, something you want to say to anyone who wants to start a Bookish account. So, I started my account barely 6 months ago, maybe 4 months ago or something. And my goal was to just be a part of the community, and I wanted to share. I was inspired by other people to read. So I started my bookish journey in like April, May last year. And then in May, I found Booktube because I wanted inspiration. And my main goal of starting a bookish account was to be a part of that community and be a part of the discussion, and just share my view and hopefully maybe inspire someone else to pick up a book they hadn't really considered before. So my my goal has never been a lot of viewers. Of course, it's nice to have viewers. That's why I don't really make content in Swedish anymore, because barely no one watched those videos, and I didn't really have the energy or the time to make the videos like twice, both in Swedish and in English, so I chose English. So I would say to anyone who wants to start a bookish account, figure out why you want to do it, and if you want, so that you do it for you. You know, I do it because I like to share my thoughts and opinions, and I like to talk about books. And I do like the community. There is a real community to be a part of if you engage. The thing is, you need to engage with other people as well. You need to watch their videos, comment on their videos, maybe join some lives, and find people that resonate with you. They might not have the same taste in books, but you know, you maybe find a common denominator and go from there and just engage with people in different ways. And your way of doing that is your way of contributing to the community is sharing videos. You don't have to, but if you want to start a bookish account, don't overthink it. Share what you like. Don't think that you need to be able to edit. You don't have to be the best at editing to share your videos. Just find a way to do it. I think maybe I would have like a lot of more viewers if I had like, if my content were made in a better way. Now it's just me, a camera. Sometimes I share like these screens that you've seen in this video. But just I try not to overthink it. I try not to put pressure on myself. And if I go a couple of weeks without posting anything, that's fine. This is a part of my life and a part of my hobby, and if you're gonna start a Bookish account, make it a part of your hobby, and don't put too much pressure on it to be successful, or on yourself on how you create these videos and how you share what you share. Just make it fun. Yeah, so all of that I just said, the summa summarum, as you say in Latin, is have fun. That's the one thing. Have fun with it. So yeah, that was the last question, you guys. So can I do like, I'm gonna see if I can do a reaction. Whee! I could. So that's the last question and the end of this video. And I credit the creator Larry Reads in my description. I also put all the questions in my description box because I had such a hard time finding all the questions. So I want you to be able to find them. And I don't really know who to tag, but consider yourself tagged, okay? Because no one tagged me. I just thought this was a fun thing to do. So consider yourself tagged if you want to do it. I have all the questions in my description box for just so it's easy for everyone. And yeah, let me know in a comment if you have done this video, this tag, or if you're gonna, and I will watch your video. And yeah, I will see you in my next video, where I will talk about probably 2 books. I just finished one yesterday that took me, it felt like forever. It was only 5 days, but it felt like forever. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about 2 books, the one I'm currently reading and the one I finished yesterday. So I will see you in my next one. Walk in beauty and xingling.